We're now joined by the former Division One world champion, Martin Nguyen. Congratulations on your victory. Vintage performance from the situation. Were you happy with what you showed today?
Yeah, definitely. Look, I obviously want to try to finish my opponents as much as possible and finish fights just in general. But I had a tough opponent and I had to kind of ride it out and figure out his weaknesses as I go because we only had 2 days to prep for him. In those 2 days, it was mainly weight cutting days. So
You lost three of your last four. You got this one. How good did it feel to get another one in the win column? Did that do a lot for your confidence?
um, look, any win does a lot for me. By any means necessary. My losses, I will avenge them sooner or later. But yeah, it does suck to lose. Putting in a bit of work and sacrifice, and it just doesn't pay off in your favor, and your opponent prepared better. But I made sure I left no stones unturned this camp, and we went in there preparing to die.
All right. Leonardo Casotti, coming into this fight, was on a 9-fight winning streak. Did you do any scouting on him prior to this? I know he was a very short notice opponent for you, but what did you know about him coming into this?
Zero, nothing at all. I know that he was on a 9-fight winning streak as per Angla, and Angla was the one that went through his typology and went through his records, and we watched he watched a couple of fights, and I was just like worried about cutting the last pound, and he was like telling me off in the meantime. But in my head, I was just making sure that mentally I turn up, and I said it all week. I just got to make sure I turn up and make sure I turn up, just to keep reminding myself mentally that I have to turn up, because when I turn up, man, everyone's in trouble.
Right, must have been an emotional roller coaster for you, knowing Shamil Gassanov had to pull out, then you got replaced by another guy, and then that opponent got changed. How's it been, having to deal with that?
Um, it sucks, man. It sucks because I put in so much work overseas for one particular guy who possesses a serious set of skill sets. So, um, and then when I get the message that he's not going to be able to fight, I was devastated. But nonetheless, they found someone new who was very similar, and I was happy to take that fight. 6 days notice. Come 2 days out, he fails medicals, and Leonardo steps in like a warrior.
Well, I know at that point for fighters, you guys just want to get in there and just compete. And luckily, one championship had someone in the wings for you. With such limited time, however, it was still a great performance from you. Seems like you hurt him a few times there. Were you surprised though with his toughness and his durability?
I was surprised, but at the same time, I didn't want to get too reckless and get caught myself. So I knew I hurt him a few times, but I just didn't want to go guns blazing and just to put on a show, but also lose a fight. That's not my style no more. I'm here to win every single fight.
To be fair, he did have his moments in there. But what was the toughest thing about fighting him? Did he pose any problems for you at all?
I've kind of seen everything, to be honest. Whether like the main thing, I just kept my guard up. He did tag me a few, um, that like who I was expecting something else, and he threw something, and yeah. But I think the main thing that hurt me was the eye poke. His fingernail went straight up my eye, and I was just like, oh man, this stings. But once I wiped the tears out, I was like, let's get it.
All right, you had some pretty good leg work on this one. Was that part of the game plan?
Um, to my future opponents, to my previous opponents, I like to attack that leg. Um, and there's so much you can do. You can check as much as you want, but I'm willing to break my leg. I'm willing to break my leg by any means necessary. So, um, yeah, that's just my style, man.
That being said, there was an interesting point there on broadcast. We could hear Ongla in the corner, giving you some advice, not to kick the leg for the sake of kicking. How important was it to have Ongla in there giving you that advice?
Like it's amazing, but someone as experienced as Angler in the corner is a blessing, and he has that third eye view. So it's me, my opponent, locking onto each other. I can't see everything else, that the distance, and I can't see. I have to kind of work it out as I fight, and as we move, and he gets to see all of that from the sidelines, and having that experience and having that someone yell at you, um, and with saying the right things, it's a blessing.
Mitch Chilson and Rich Franklin also pointed out that there was a kind of a lack of the jab from you. Was that something that you feel like you could have done more?
Yes, definitely. And I've been working it the whole fight camp, but it was just a matter of he kind of had like a longer reach than me. And at one point when I went to jab, he kind of jabbed me before me. So I was just like I was kind of working more off feints. And I tried to jab as much as possible, but he was kind of just in that point which he lifted up his hand and kind of touched me first. So I was like, okay, I can't get in his little safe space.
All right, in the third round, you landed a takedown in the third round. That was a good one, especially came at the good moment. Was that was taking the fight to the ground a part of your game plan at all, or was that something that just happened?
No, you know what I mean. I like to stand and bang, but Angla was saying take him down from the start of round two because his leg was shot and he had no stability in it. But I couldn't. For me, like he's got the perfect eye, but for me, I just didn't want to use that excessive energy because he was still mobile and I didn't want to shoot in and he would like because very explosive. I didn't want to shoot into like a knee or something because that's something that I'll do. So I wanted to kind of wait for him to go guns blazing, and we knew round three he was going to come out with it has to finish now, otherwise I've lost the fight. So he came out like that, and it was a perfect moment to take him down.
Given that you mounted him at the end of the fight there, and you were like really pounding him with the elbows, you wish you think you should have taken him down earlier?
Look, I could have taken him down from round one, but it was just a perfect moment in round three. And I have underrated jiu-jitsu, so he was trying to pull guard. He felt very, very stiff as to pull back guard again and try to get in certain positions, but I was just staying heavy and pinning him to the ground. And then when I got my moment and when he rolled the wrong way and I went straight into mount, I was like, okay, we got time. We have to finish it now or never.
All right. Is that victory? Do you think that victory is enough for you to get back into title contention? You've been talking about how loose the featherweight division is and how anybody can get it with a good performance. Will that be enough to put you back in the mix?
I feel one more would solidify my title shot against Tenkai.
All right. Who do you have your eye on next? You were originally supposed to fight Shamil Gassanov for this one. Is that a fight you're still interested in, or who else could be in line for you? Gary Tonin, perhaps?
Gassanov, Gary Tonin. They're my potential next opponents.
All right. And, one championship has a U.S. card coming up in Colorado. Do you think that would be a good return for you to come back? I know you train at Kill Cliff in Florida. How important would it be for you to be able to compete in the U.S. one day?
I would love to be on that card, but it's already a stacked card. Regardless, I'm going to be there for my brother Angla and then go from there, figure out my steps from there. But either by the end of the year, I want a title shot, or start of next year for sure.
Yeah, fans in the United States are going to be able to experience this one live for the first time. What do you think they can expect from a live one championship event?
Dude, just having Angla on the card, that's the main event. I don't care.
Angla is going to have you think the Burmese fans are going to come out for Angla in this one?
You don't know how many fans are in Colorado and in the US just alone. There's a lot of Burmese people, and they're only there to support their own, and that's Angla. And if he's not towards the last couple of fights, man, I don't see a lot of people being in the stadium at all. Angla is the man, and to have him on the card, it's going to be huge in Colorado.
All right. Well, congratulations to you once again, Martin. Safe travels back home to your family, and we hope to see you again very soon.
My guy, thank you, Carlos.